Hello clarinets and welcome to lesson 4. Today we're going to revise how to assemble our clarinets, our embouchures, notes G, E and D. We will perform fushy wushy, we're going to develop our tongue technique and we're going to learn a new piece called march. So first off, let's assemble our clarinet. Can we take our reeds out of our reed cases very gently and put our reeds into our mouths? I'm not going to put my reed, here we go. I'm not going to keep my reed in my mouth for the whole time, just so that I can demonstrate how we put all of our clarinets together. So first off, let's take out our bell and put the bell onto the bottom joint. Next thing, please take your top joint and press down on the nose. Quarter turn top and bottom joints together. Make sure all holes are facing the front and that the rod at the back here is lined up. Put your clarinet to one side. Take your mouthpiece and I want you to take off the cap and the ligature. Next step, put your mouthpiece onto your barrel. Take your reed out of your mouth. Put the flat bit of your reed onto the flat bit of the mouthpiece. Make sure it's perfectly lined up and very carefully put your ligature on. Your screws should be facing towards you. So the screws are on the side of the reed and it's facing towards you. Tighten it a little bit so it's ready to go. Okay, just put your cap back onto your mouthpiece for now because we're just going to warm up our embouchures first. So let's get out our first finger and you're going to put it in between your teeth. Back out. Now both lips over both teeth. Finger in. Next step, bottom lip over bottom teeth, top teeth onto the finger. Next step, seal at the end. So bottom lip, finger, top teeth, seal. And the final step is we need to smile and flatten our cheeks. So bottom lip, finger, teeth, seal, smile and chin. Excellent. Let's just try that on our mouthpieces. So take your mouthpiece, take the cap off. Bottom lip, reed side down. So reed onto your bottom lip. So bottom lip over your bottom teeth. In, top teeth, seal, smile and chin. Okay. Let's just warm up our tongues. So I'm going to make some tongue sounds. My tongue will hit the top of the reed. Listen to me. See if you can practice that. Just try and get that sound working. Can you hear my clarinet isn't actually playing any notes? It's just the sound of my reed hitting the top of the reed. Okay, very good. Right, we're going to warm up using fushy wushy, which we worked on last week. So I'll just share my screen, get it all set up. Okay. So first off, we're going to just warm up using our mouthpiece and barrel, and we will play with the backing track. Here it is. Very good guys, well done. Next step, please can we now put our clarinets onto all of our clarinet together. So my bell is on my knee, I hold onto the barrel and I press down. And you can see my reed is in line with my exclamation key at the back. Now we're going to do exactly the same thing, but we're going to warm up using our note G, and we all remember that G has got no fingers at all. I'm going to move myself so I can see that. So I've got my clarinet resting on my right thumb and no hands. Here we go. Okay, next thing I want us to do is we're going to just say and mime the fingers this time, because we've got all the Kadai signs figured out, because we've played it just on our mouthpiece, barrel, and on the note G, so we know how the rhythm goes. All we're going to do now is just remember the notes. So remember that D droops below the line. So our first note is the note D, and that is the note that we learnt last week. So we'll just go in order. So we start off from G, then we put our thumb on the back, and our first finger down. That is our first note that we learned, which was the note E. And then we turn our E into a D by putting our middle finger onto the next hole, not onto the nose, onto the next hole. So all of our fingers are only covering holes. So this time we're going to say and mime with the backing track. Here we go. Well done. I think you're ready to play that now. Make sure that you play it through twice, and I'll follow with the red laser, and you can play with the recording I made earlier. Here it is. Good luck. So make sure that your instruments from your mouth, bottom lip over your bottom teeth. Breathe in, tooth down, seal and smile. Thumb, first finger, middle finger, all fingers covering the holes. Here we go. One, two, three, four. Na, 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 na. Na, 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 na. Na, 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 na. One, two, big breath. One, two, big breath. One, two, big breath. Very good, everybody. Well done. We're now going to move on to another piece, which is called March. If you're not sure about any of the piece that we just did, I would recommend freezing the video, going back and playing it a few more times with me. So this might seem like a backwards step. Actually, no, we'll keep our clarinets together. I want us to try now, and like we did at the beginning when we were warming up our tongues, we're going to do the same thing, but with our whole clarinet together. So you're not going to make any sound other than just the tongue tapping on the top of your reed. So can we just do it like this? Don't worry about doing any breathing. All that's happening is my reed is just tapping the top of the tongue. And it's this part of my tongue. Great, now let's just try breathing down the clarinet. Great, and now let's just blow a bit more air down and it'll produce a G. Have a practice of that, freeze the video and try and see if you can make that sound. We're trying to make sure that we're using our tongue rather than using our tummies to start the note. So this is using my tummy. Can you see there's a lot of movement here? Eventually it's going to make me feel a bit sick, and I'll also get a little bit dizzy and the sound isn't very good. If I use my tongue, there's a lot less movement and it also sounds a lot better. Okay, so this is what we call tonguing. It's a very, very important technique on the clarinet, and if it's something that we don't get right at the beginning, it takes a long, long, long time to correct when we get better on our instruments. So let's have a look at our piece now. If we have a look, our rhythm is really easy. All we have is tas and mas. So here is our first ta, and here is our first ma. Our notes are also pretty easy. It's our first note that we ever learned, which was the note E, and you can have a look here, and this shows you how you play the note E. When we go to the second line, we go on to our second note that we ever learned, which we learnt last week, which is the note D, and here this shows us how we play the note D. So first things first, we're going to play with the backing track just the kadai sounds. Then the second time through, we're going to play it, we're going to say and mime with our fingers. So the first line is an E, second line is a D. And then we're going to have an extra bit of practice. Actually, let's have a look at the third line now. So the third line is a little bit more complicated. Can we say the kadai sounds after 4? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ta, 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 ta. Very good. The next one, the first note is an E, and then when we go to the second bar of the third line, we turn to a D. So let's say in mime. 1, 2, 3, 4. E, 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 D, D, D. Great. We actually don't need to practice the first line because it's exactly the same. Sorry, we don't need to practice the last line because it's the same as the first line. So the first and second lines and third lines are super easy. We just need to make sure that we're paying more attention for the third line because we change notes every bar. Here we go with the backing track. Very good, guys, well done. I'd actually like us to now play that all on a G so that we can make sure that our tongues are definitely working, okay? So it'll sound like this. And if your note sounds a bit more like this, that's fine. That tells me that you're really, really working with your tongue. I'd rather it be like that than this. Or really try and make a really aggressive tongue, really exaggerate, and I'll play it with an exaggerated tongue with you. It might squeak, don't worry too much because we're just using our tongues for the first time today. So here it is. Now we're going to try and say and mime our fingers, and then the second time that we actually, first time we play it, we're going to do it with a gentler tongue. So before we had this, let's try it with a gentler tongue now and making sure that our embouchure is still in check. So let's use a little bit less air, and then the second time we play it, we're going to say and mime, and then we'll play the whole thing. Here we go. I think you are now ready to play that with me playing with you earlier. So we're going to do it twice round. So get your clarinets ready to play. Bottom lip, Mouthpiece in, teeth down, feel, smile and chin. Thumb at the back, first finger down. For our first note, E. Here we go. Big breath, 3, 4. Ma, ma, ma. Ma, ma, ma. Ma, ma. Big breath, 3, 4. Ma, ma, ma. Ma, ma, ma. Really well done, everybody. Fantastic. What you could do now is freeze the video and go back through any bits that you weren't quite 100% confident with. For your homework this week, I would like you to please perform Fushy Wushy with the backing track. I'd like you to practice the tongue just on the mouthpiece and the barrel like we did at the start, for example. Like that. And I'd also like you to practice march. For some tips, remember to practice in front of a mirror so that you're checking that your cheeks aren't puffed out and that your fingers are fully covering the holes. So not just like this, but properly covering the holes. To also help you with your cheeks not puffing out, you could hold onto your cheeks, particularly when you're just warming up here. To just check they're not going like this. You can also, if you have any notes that are squeaking like this, if you'll get anything like that, just try and blow with a little bit less air. And also practice with your tongue with no clarinet sound, with the whole clarinet together. So if I just marched with just my tongue. I'm just getting used to making sure that my tongue is moving. I can also do it with no clarinet at all. So making sure that that tongue is making that explosive sound. Okay, all we need to do now is take apart our clarinets. So please could you take off your reed and put your reed into the reed case very, very gently and carefully. Then mouthpiece and barrel off, please. Get your cleaning swab. And pull it through 3 times. Then move on to taking off the bell and pull through the top joint and the bottom joint 3 times. Okay, take off the top joint by pressing down on the nose and quarter turn apart and put all of the joints into your clarinet. Make sure that you've got your cleaning cloth and that you wind up your cleaning cloth. Put your cleaning cloth into your case and make sure that you zip up both zips and keep your clarinet in a place where it's going to be safe from little brothers and sisters, any pets. Make sure that it's not near a radiator and that it doesn't get wet. Really, really well done for today, everybody, and I will see you again for our next lesson very, very soon.